Hi everyone, I am Vaishali Raval, professor here in the Department of Psychology, and I am very excited to virtually meet you. I'm in my 14th year here at Miami, and I really enjoy mentoring students. My research broadly focuses on cultural and contextual foundations of human behavior and mental health, and aims to contribute to developing a psychological science that reflects the experiences of people all around the world. Some of my early work focused on how parents socialize their children with respect to emotions in different cultures and communities, examining relevance of parenting constructs for different communities and populations, and implications of parenting for children's mental health. My recent work has shifted to global mental health, examining subjective experience of depression for people in different communities, what culturally competent care may look like, and how to train professionals in providing such care. An ongoing study also examines how to adapt empirically supported treatments to fit the needs of youth in diverse communities. Graduate students in the CARE lab have extended this research to related topics like suicide and self-injurious behavior, as well as racial discrimination and mental health. In terms of teaching at the graduate level, I teach the multicultural topics in clinical psychology, psychological assessment, a clinical practicum on multiculturally informed and evidence-based practice with children and families, and a course that combines qualitative and quantitative research methods. I look forward to having the opportunity to meet with you and learn about your background and your interests. All the best with this very exciting process, and welcome to Miami.
Hi, I'm Liz Keel, and I'm an associate professor of psychology and director of the Behavior, Emotions, and Relationships Lab. My research focuses on anxiety development, particularly parent-child relationship as well. So not only how parents may affect their children's development, but also how anxiety-prone children may affect their parents differently than non-anxious children. My lab uses a variety of methods, including observation, surveys, and a host of biological measures. And graduate students often develop their own research questions within some of these domains. In terms of graduate teaching, I teach the first statistics course that first years take in our program in correlation and regression, as well as an advanced statistics course. I also teach our affective development course, and I have previously taught our developmental psychopathology or lifespan psychopathology course. I supervise a practicum in child and adolescent mental health. Thank you so much for being here for our interview day, and I look forward to getting to know you.
Hi, my name is Jen Green, and I'm a clinical professor here in the Department of Psychology. I've been at Miami for 15 years now, and my position mostly entails doing training with graduate students in clinical psychology. So I teach courses in psychological assessment, in child intervention, and in clinical supervision. I also do a great deal of clinical supervision of the students working with children, adolescents, and families, both in our clinic and in the local school district. I also offer opportunities for first and second year students to get involved in working with children in the local elementary school by assisting our more advanced graduate students in facilitating social skills groups and social, emotional, and mental health promotion groups in elementary schools. The other role I play in the clinical area is to help coordinate external community traineeships. So when students are in their third and fourth and sometimes fifth year, they are doing clinical work in the community, in a hospital setting or community mental health setting, student counseling setting, or school setting. And I help to coordinate those experiences. So I do look forward to meeting many of you later today and wish you the best of luck on your virtual interview day.
Hi everyone, my name is Zach Solyard and I'm an assistant professor in the clinical psychology area here at Miami, and I'm also the director of the Body Image and Stigma Among Queer Populations Lab, or the BISC Lab for short. In the BISC Lab, our main area of interest is focused on how stigma, like minority stress factors, affect the mental health of LGBTQ populations, especially body image and disordered eating. And we do this in a few different ways. So for example, one line of our research examines to what extent body image and disordered eating surveys, which have historically been developed and tested among heterosexual and cisgender populations, to what extent those surveys are measuring the same underlying constructs for LGBTQ plus populations as they are for the heterosexual and cisgender populations. We're also interested in testing new theories as potential ways to explain body image disparities within the LGBTQ plus community. Our lab is currently in the process of conducting a study this semester, which is going to focus on a new theory that's called intra-minority stress theory. And we're going to test whether this type of stress is associated with body image and mental health outcomes among specifically trans sexual minority men. So ultimately, our lab's overall aim is to use our findings to reduce these mental health disparities and also inform affirmative interventions for the LGBTQ plus community. And then in terms of teaching, I teach the lifespan psychopathology course to the clinical graduate students in their first year, which I'm really fortunate to teach since it gives me the opportunity to get to meet the first year clinical psych grad students in their first semester. And then in the upcoming semesters, I'm also planning to teach both an upper level undergraduate capstone as well as a graduate seminar course that will focus on LGBTQ plus health disparities. I hope you have a great interview here at Miami, and if you have any questions for me, please feel free to reach out. I hope you have a great interview experience, and I very much look forward to meeting and getting to work with some of you. Take care.
Hello, my name is Lauren Evans Tobin, and I am the director of the Psychology Clinic here at Miami University's Psychology Department. So the Psychology Clinic is the training clinic associated with the Clinical Psychology Doctoral Program, which means that when students are in their second year of the program, they see their first the practicum class, which is where I supervised students through their first clinical experience. In addition to that, professional and past research experiences have included racial, sexual, and ethnic identity development, multiculturalism, and college student success. I look forward to meeting you.
Hey everybody, welcome to Oxford.
This is Paul Flasspuller. I am the resident clinical community psychologist in the clinical program. I've been taking a lot of long walks with my camera-shy dog, and I thought while I'm introducing myself to you, I'd bring you along and show you some of the things I get to see on my walks in Oxford. If you like to walk or run or ride, Oxford really is a great town for these kinds of activities. Lots of great walking trails and lots of great ways to get outdoors and really enjoy yourself. My research and practice interests lie in the gap between research and practice. A lot of the work that I do we consider to be content agnostic. That is, I don't do work in bullying or youth violence, but instead I do work on how we promote effective dissemination and implementation of evidence-based practices, and how do we bring practices that have proven to be effective to people who are going to be able to use them to improve their conditions. This is Uptown. There are bars and restaurants and little shops. It's a pleasant place to walk through. Community psychologists are strengths-based, empowerment-oriented, and committed to equity and issues of social justice. Community psychologists prioritize prevention and mental health promotion over intervention, and tend to see the idea of promoting the health and well-being of people through an ecological or environmental lens. Recently, they installed these little igloos here that you can come in and eat in to get you out of the cold. This is my first time in one. My lab is known as the Miami University School Community and Research and Action Team, for short, Muskrat. And in the lab, my graduate students and I do a lot of projects that are action research, community-based participatory research, program development, and program evaluation. Central to all of our work is the philosophy of empowerment evaluation, a democratic and participatory approach to evaluation that seeks to find balance between participation and accountability. One day last fall, I stumbled across an old-timey barehanded baseball game being played in the field behind me. Don't ask me to explain it. We have a good-sized lab. Kate, who is applying for internship. Amy, who is rising fourth year. Amanda, Andrea, and Nicole, so 5. Just had 2 graduate last year, so it's been a productive year in the Muskrat Lab. Wait, what? Am I suddenly in Brooklyn? No, still in Oxford. We have a bunch of different projects going on in the lab right now. The largest project we're working on now is with the Department of Defense. We're working out of the Office of Force Resilience to assist with the development of evaluation of prevention activities, both in service academies like the West Point and the Naval Academy, but also in installations both within and outside of the U.S. A big part of that work involves on-site installation evaluations where we show up and do interviews, focus groups, and surveys and other forms of data collection across the chain of command, and from that evaluate how well they're doing with integrating their prevention activities. Super interesting work and very consistent with the kinds of work we've been doing for years in expanded school mental health. We still have a lot of small projects working in school mental health, including a recent partnership we've developed with a school district that's adjacent to us that operates with a kind of different set of political values. It's allowed us to get really hands-on experience trying to promote school mental health in places that might be a little more adversarial to some of the ideas of school mental health than we might get elsewhere. And that's been a really fun project. We have a number of synthesis and translation projects that we have going right now. So all kinds of really cool things going on in the lab, and always the potential that new things are going to come right around the corner. There is a train that runs through town. If you come here and are picking a place to live, be aware. In terms of teaching, most of my footprint is at the undergraduate level. I have taught abnormal psychology, research design, and analysis. My favorite course to teach is Capstone, where I get to teach about community psychology. And most recently, I've taken on teaching Psych 111, the Intro to Psych course. My partner works here at the hospital. We've lived in Oxford since 2004. We have 3 kids and a dog. We've raised our kids in the school system here. We've loved the strengths and benefits of living in a small town and are grateful that the things that we might want to access are just a few minutes away down the road in Cincinnati or Hamilton or Dayton or Middletown. Also a core member and curriculum coordinator for the Global Health Studies program. At the graduate level, you will definitely see me, should you choose to come here, in consultation, 1 credit hour course you'll take in your 2nd year. I've also taught child intervention and taught history and systems. I look forward to talking to some of you in individual interviews If any of you want to talk to me outside of the interviews, please feel free to reach out via email or feel free to call. Thanks for joining me on this little walk. Thanks for coming to visiting day, and hopefully I'll get to meet you in person at some point. I look forward to talking to some of you in individual interviews relatively soon. That's Cash, who's been with us the whole time.
Hi everyone, my name is Nadia Al-Jajani. I'm a new faculty hire at Miami University in the psychology department in the clinical science area. My research area focuses on proximal risk factors of suicidal thoughts. Typically, we have participants download a smartphone app on their phone and respond to, variables of interest, things like negative and positive emotions, for instance, and then when they experience a suicidal thought. And our hope is to try and predict when those thoughts are more likely to occur in day-to-day and real-time settings. At Miami University, I'll be doing that same research, but I'll be focusing on understudied populations and marginalized communities. And so students in my lab will get exposed to ecological momentary assessments in this type of work, along with using physiological monitoring, both in wearable devices and in the lab, and focusing on those understudied populations. In terms of teaching, I am excited to be teaching a capstone course at the undergraduate level, and I'll be teaching that intro psychotherapy course for graduate students. And in the future, I'd love to teach things like abnormal psychology, psychopathology, and ethics. So I am excited to hopefully meet some of you in the fall once I get started at Miami University, and best of luck with this process, and congratulations on making it this far.
Hi, I'm Terry. Welcome to Miami University's Clinical Psychology PhD program Virtual Interview Day. It's great to meet you. I've been a faculty member at Miami for over 20 years, and that makes me the most senior clinical psychology program faculty member. During that time, I've had the amazing opportunity to meet and to contribute to the research and the clinical training of many, many different graduate students, and to watch them develop into their own professional, their careers. And this has spanned anywhere from being professors to being clinical scientists, clinical psychologists, administrators, and teachers. So it's really been an amazing journey. In terms of my contributions to our training program, I advise clinical psychotherapy, and I also conduct research and supervise research of graduate students. I teach the ethics course, which is in the first year, and also contribute to supervision in the clinic in the clinical psychology practicum. From that, in that practicum, I teach from the cognitive behavioral perspective, or the CBT perspective, which ranges from cognitive therapy all the way to third wave therapies. In addition, when I have the opportunity, I teach a specialized seminar in trauma-focused psychotherapy, where we do a deeper dive into understanding what trauma is, how it affects people's development, and how we can intervene with it effectively in psychotherapy. My research focuses on trauma and emotion regulation. We tend to specialize in studies that focus on interpersonal violence, such as child maltreatment, rape or sexual assault, and intimate partner violence. We're looking at how emotion dysregulation is connected to these experiences and how it may lead to certain deleterious outcomes such as depression, anxiety, PTSD, dissociation, and complex PTSD. We're most recently looking at factors that may provide evidence of mechanisms that help explain these outcomes. For example, we have one study going on with bisexual women, and we're looking at how sexual assault and anti-bisexual stigma may contribute to sexual minority stress factors, and how those minority stress factors may increase risk for suicidality. And another recent study, we're looking at men in the community and how their experiences with child maltreatment may increase their tendency to hold hypermasculine views of themselves, and how those views may contribute to risky sexual behavior. I'm also interested in positive factors that may contribute to recovery and resilience, such as mindfulness and self-compassion. If you come to Miami and work in my lab, you'll have the opportunity to develop your own unique area of research as well as contribute to these projects. Thanks again for your application to Miami. I hope you enjoy your interview day. If you didn't have a chance to interview with me and would like to do so, please contact me. I'm happy to talk with you individually at a later time. Thank you very much, and good luck in this process.
Hi, I'm Aaron Lupi, and I'm the current Director of Clinical Training and an Associate Professor here at Miami University. My research interest in the Family Relationships and Mood Lab lives at the intersection of family relationships, emotion processes, and biological responses to stress that puts teenagers at risk for the development of internalizing disorders like depression and anxiety, as well as related syndromes such as sluggish cognitive tempo. Our research uses a whole host of different methodologies, things such as surveys obviously, but also observational coding of family interactions, and psychophysiological measures like salivary hormones such as cortisol and alpha amylase, and neuroscience techniques such as functional near-infrared spectroscopy. Now, in the future, we're going to be looking more at all different types of pieces of the emotion process, such as reactivity, regulation, recognition, awareness, as well as other temporal dynamics, with a big focus on positive emotions. So basically, we often ask the question, what happens in families when things go right? Or maybe what doesn't happen that puts kids at risk for the development of those disorders? In terms of teaching, I am involved in teaching things at the graduate level, such as developmental psychopathology across the lifespan. I've also taught a class on emotion and emotion regulation. I supervise a practicum that's focused on child and adolescent psychopathology with a family systems approach to that practicum. And I also have taught in our statistics curriculum structural equation modeling. Well, I hope that gives you a little bit of information about my lab, and I look forward to talking with some of you, and also hopefully seeing some of you in the fall.
Hi, my name is Deborah Weesey, and my training and research is in multicultural psychology and cultural competence. I teach in those areas, and I also supervise students in their clinical work. I wanted to show you one of my favorite places near the psychology building, which is about a 1-minute walk away. So I'm just going to do a quick scan so that you can see where I am. You can see the little pond here and some residence halls right behind me. And then over here, right behind me, you can see a corner of the psychology building right there. So this is one of the places that I love about the campus, and one of the things I love about Oxford is that there are so many hiking paths and walking paths so close to campus. Looking forward to seeing you soon. Bye.